Today is Wednesday, August 7th. What to know today about President Trump's travel plans and reaction to it, and what kind of gun safety legislation has a real chance of passing Congress. Plus, a new way to delay menopause by 20 years. Apple officially launches a credit card, and Amazon's delivery robots hit the streets. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Today, President Trump will visit El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, though some have mixed feelings about him showing up. Of course, we're talking about the two communities still reeling from mass shootings that left 31 people dead. ABC News reports Trump plans to offer his condolences to victims, meet with leaders, and talk about his plans to stop gun violence. But in El Paso, some people are making it clear Trump is not welcome, with one local official saying, quote, "It's like throwing salt in an open wound." Another saying that the president's past comments about immigrants and Mexicans have made the community out to be the enemy. Remember, the shooter allegedly targeted Latinos. But El Paso's mayor plans to welcome President Trump, saying, quote, "He is the president of the United States," and adding that maybe they can impact his decisions about what to do now. And in Dayton, the mayor also says she'll welcome the president, though she added she wishes he'll talk more about gun laws. And speaking of gun laws, the governor there in Ohio, a Republican, is now urging state lawmakers to pass a so-called red flag law. A red flag law would allow family members, law enforcement, or others to ask a court to take guns away from someone they're concerned about. Then a judge could decide if that person is a danger and should not be allowed to buy, sell, or have any guns, at least temporarily. It's that same type of red flag law that members of Congress are also reviewing. Congress is actually on vacation right now, but they're at least thinking about cutting that 6-week break short to take this issue on. The New York Times reports that if a red flag bill does pass Congress and get signed into law, it would mean the most significant gun safety legislation passed in 20 years. The NRA, or National Rifle Association, says any legislation that does pass should include penalties for frivolous claims. But other critics say this bill doesn't go far enough. They want to see a ban on all military-style assault weapons. Stay tuned for what, if any, action lawmakers decide to take. And one more update to tell you about. This one about the shooting last month at the Garlic Festival in Gilroy, California. The LA Times reports authorities are now opening a domestic terrorism investigation into that one, saying new evidence shows the gunman had a target list of religious and government institutions, proving he had violent ideologies, though they're still working on a specific motive. Nobel Prize-winning author Toni Morrison has died. The New York Times reports she was the first African-American woman to win a Nobel Prize in literature. She had a long writing career and wrote about Black identity in America. One of her most famous books is Beloved, which was made into a movie. NBC News reports she was also given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by former President Obama in 2012. Oprah Winfrey called her a magician with language who understood the power of words. Morrison was 88. Well, scientists say they can delay menopause for 20 years in a first-of-its-kind surgical procedure. So here's how it works. CBS News reports doctors remove part of a woman's ovaries and freeze the tissue. Then, when the woman gets closer to the age of menopause, doctors thaw and re-implant the tissue, which then activates the patient's younger natural hormones and hits the pause button on menopause. So far, doctors in England have performed the surgery on 10 women between 22 and 36 years old. Some experts are calling it remarkable. The Guardian reports the surgery could prevent thousands of women from facing serious health problems that can come along with menopause, like osteoporosis and heart conditions. And it could eventually help with fertility treatment, too. But there are still some concerns, like how it could affect the patient in the long run, since this is still new and experimental. Right now, the procedure to delay menopause for 20 years costs about $10,000. All right, more news ahead, but let's take a quick break now for today's sponsor, LaFleur. No time to shop or sick of scrambling in the morning to figure out an outfit for work? Stop wasting all that time and energy. LaFleur works to make your life easier. For one, they do the styling for you, and then their clothes are made for the person on the go. Think machine washable, wrinkle-resistant, adjustable hems, and more. I recently got a classic black skirt that is a great material and will not wrinkle when I travel. All you do is take a short survey to tell LaFleur about your size and style preferences, and their expert stylist will send a collection of outfits tailored to your life. LaFleur wants to let you focus on what matters most by taking work out of dressing for work. And right now, new customers can enjoy $25 toward their first purchase or a bento box of clothes with the code Newsworthy. And for the guys listening, be sure to tell the women in your life about LaFleur. Just go to mmlafleur.com/newsworthy to get more details and redeem your $25 gift. You can find the link mmlafleur.com/newsworthy in today's show notes. Now, back to the news. The Apple credit card is out now, meaning Apple has officially entered the world of finance. Well, with the help of a well-known bank, Apple issued the card in partnership with Goldman Sachs. Cnet says Apple started rolling out the credit card this week to some of the people who signed up for an email alert to use it. Then it's expected to be available to all iPhone users later this month. The sign-up and account management is all done through the iPhone's Wallet app, though you can also get a physical card in the mail for free. Cnet says it offers 3% cash back on Apple stuff, 2% back on anything you buy using your iPhone's Apple Pay feature, and 1% back when you need to use the physical card. The Verge reports it may have fewer benefits than some other premium cards, but true to Apple's style, it's made to be pretty simple. The retail icon Barneys has filed for bankruptcy and put itself up for sale. Reuters reports Barneys was hit hard by falling revenue and rising rent. For example, CNBC says rent went up nearly $15 million at Barney's main store in Manhattan. And many stores just aren't getting the foot traffic they used to because of online shopping. Barney's has until late October to find a buyer. If it doesn't, the company will have to liquidate and close its stores for good. It's already shutting down some stores in Chicago, Seattle, and Las Vegas. Driverless shuttles are coming to Brooklyn, New York, in what will be the first commercial self-driving service in the state. TechCrunch reports the shuttles are from Optimus Ride. They'll transport people around the Brooklyn Navy Yard, which is a 300-acre private commercial development. The Optimus Ride shuttles will run a loop around the complex 7 days a week for free. And for now, safety drivers will be on board just in case. Don't expect to see these on public roads anytime soon, but the company does plan on launching a similar service at a retirement community and an industrial park. Amazon's self-driving robots are hitting the streets in another neighborhood, this time in California. VentureBeat says Amazon's driverless rovers, also known as Scout, will start delivering packages to customers' doorsteps this week in Irvine, California. The robots are about the size of a small cooler. They have built-in cameras and sensors to avoid hitting things, but USA Today says a worker will be with the robot at first to make sure all goes smoothly. Amazon has already tested the robots in Washington near its headquarters, but it will be a while before they're making deliveries nationwide. AT&T and Spotify are teaming up. AT&T customers who have an unlimited and more plan can now get Spotify Premium for free. Spotify was added to the list of add-on options, which also includes HBO and Pandora. And others, like subscribers to AT&T-owned DirecTV, might be able to get a 6-month free trial to Spotify Premium. Digital Trends says this new partnership is likely in response to a similar thing over at Verizon, where some subscribers can get access to Apple Music for free. All right, that's it for the main news today, but it's now time for Work Wednesday, where we break down one interesting career or work-related news story every Wednesday. And Work Wednesday is brought to you by LaFleur, the wardrobe solution for professional women that I mentioned earlier. LaFleur lets you live with purpose and dress with ease. This week, we're talking about working remotely. A Boston Globe article that was featured on LinkedIn says working from home, or really anywhere you can get internet connection, has become more and more popular. Probably for 2 reasons. 1, improving technology, and 2, it's a pretty tight labor market, which lets job seekers demand more flexibility. But here's the thing, it really depends if it's a good or not so great thing for a company. Experts say it all depends on that company's mission, culture, and systems. That the people who work remotely can succeed as long as they feel connected and valued, and there's the right communication in place. But a 2010 study shows there can be a bias against people who work off-site, meaning they might get fewer promotions and smaller raises than their coworkers in the office. Either way, there is a rise in remote work. A job search site, FlexJobs, found that about half of the U.S. workforce works remotely at least once a month, and that the number of people working remotely at least half the time has gone up 159% since 2005. All right, thank you so much for listening today. A quick note that I will be in Orlando next week for the Podcast Movement Conference. If you'll be there or live in that area, let me know. Send me a message or a tweet. I would love to meet more of you in person. In fact, I'll be speaking on a panel while I'm there, set for Thursday the 15th at 12:30 Eastern Time. So come to that and say hello afterwards. Okay, as always, you can read more about today's stories in today's show notes. Just look in your podcast app or click episodes on thenewsworthy.com to see all the links and sources. The Newsworthy is ready for you by 4 in the morning every weekday, so I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.